everybody, welcome back to another episode of How I Cook. I'm Stephen and Frederick. Easter is right around the corner. So I'm going to make 3 items to serve on your Easter table. Now, it's not going to be ham or lamb, because that's what most people serve for Easter. These are going to be 3 things that can go with the ham or the lamb. The first is crescent rolls. Now, crescent rolls are wonderful with the holidays, be it Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, whenever. We're going to elevate the crescent roll this time. So, we're going to begin by opening the tube of crescent rolls. This is the best part. If you have kids, let them do it. There we go. You open the crescent roll, and these are delicious all by themselves. They hit the table and everybody grabs for them. But we're going to make them a little better. So, you take each of the triangles, and we're going to add some cheddar cheese. You can see I'm cutting up cheddar cheese from a block. I've talked before about the shredded cheese. They put cellulose on that so it doesn't stick together. Yes, you can use it, but this doesn't have the cellulose on it. So take a piece of cheddar cheese, put it in the triangle, and let's roll that triangle. And then we simply put it on the baking sheet. This baking sheet has a non-stick silk pad on it. So I need to do that 7 more times. You probably will make more than 1 tube of crescent rolls. If your family's anything like me, 8 is not enough for a family. 8's barely enough for me. And here we have number 8. So doing them all the same, roll them up with the cheese inside. Can you use a different cheese? Absolutely. Use a cheese that you like. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And then we're going to put an egg wash on these. What's an egg wash? It's just beat up egg that we're going to spread on the rolls. 1, to brown them, make them more golden brown. And we're also going to be putting something on the outside, so it will help the everything bagel seasoning to stick to it. So, I beat up the egg, I have a brush here, and we simply brush on the egg. Egg wash. They always come up with terms to make things seem more difficult or fancier than they are. So there we have it. The crescent rolls wrapped around cheese with egg wash. We're now going to take the everything bagel seasoning and sprinkle it on. If you don't have everything bagel seasoning, you can go out and get it, or you can make your own with sesame seeds, poppy seeds, garlic, onion, or put on what you like. Do you just like some garlic powder, some onion powder, maybe some dried herbs? Whatever flavor palette you like, that's what you should use. So I have the oven preheated for 375 degrees. These are going to go into the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. So the crescent rolls are in the oven, and we're going to put together some pineapple stuffing. Pineapple stuffing is something great that goes with an Easter dinner. Very easy, can make ahead. So we're going to start with the stick of butter that I over softened a little in the microwave oven, but in it goes. Next, a cup of granulated sugar. We're going to mix these together or cream them. So this is going to go for a little while. It'll put air into the mixture adding volume, but you'll also see it'll become more white than yellow. Okay, they're mixed very nicely. Next, we're going to add 4 eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4. And since I don't like to waste anything, the leftover egg that we had from the egg wash of the crescent rolls. Waste not one. Almost looks like a cake batter. It's more yellow again because of the egg yolks. A 20-ounce can of crushed pineapple. It's been drained. So all we have left to do is we need to add some bread. I have here 5 pieces of bread. This is sourdough bread, and then the heel. So 5.5 pieces. Can you use white? Yes. Sourdough? Yes. But this is very hearty bread. I recommend a heartier bread, not the real fluffy white sandwich bread. You could use it, but I don't recommend it. So I'm cutting this into cubes. You want to use a serrated knife. That's the knife with the jagged edge. You don't have to be too exact. We're going to throw it in with the rest of the ingredients and then apply the hand mixer. So it's going to get beaten up anyway. So we have our bread thrown on top of the rest of the mixture. So there we have. Everything's been mixed together. Going to get a baking pan. Spray it with cooking spray. And then we simply put the whole mixture into the baking pan. Now, the beauty of this recipe is you could stop here. Make this a day or two ahead, put saran wrap over it, and leave it in the fridge. The day of Easter, or whenever you're going to serve it, you'll pop it in a 350-degree oven. Really easy. I'm going to check on those crescent rolls. I'll be right back. So there we have it. The crescent rolls have come out of the oven. Look at how beautiful they are. They smell great too. Crescent rolls by themselves are great, but look at this. Your family and your friends are going to be so impressed, and more than impressed, it's going to be so delicious. So, putting these on a cooling rack, just let them cool a little. These also can be made ahead. You totally bake them, totally cool them down, and once they're totally cooled, you put them in a Rubbermaid or a Tupperware or something and put the lid on it and keep the air out. I would only do that a day or two in advance. The day of, you would set your oven to 225, put them back in the oven for maybe 2 to 3 minutes just to warm them a little, and then you could serve them. Or they were so easy you can actually do the day of. But I'm trying to give you tips for different options. Okay, we have one more thing that we're going to make. And our final recipe for this episode is honey glazed carrots. I have a pound of carrots here, whole carrots. Yes, you can use baby carrots, but I saw these in the market and I really like them. These still have the skin on it. I don't mind the skin. I gave them a good wash, and I'm going to cut off the ends. I don't want the ends on there. And now, I'm just going to cut them They don't have to be exact. And I'm putting them in a loaf pan. And here we have our last carrot. A little piece for me. I love carrots. Of course I do. I'm the Easter bunny. So into the loaf pan. There you go. Not very exciting, is it? Well, we're going to make a honey glaze to go over that before we bake them. So I have a saucepan on low on the stove, 5 tablespoons of butter. It's already melting because it's on for a little. Some rosemary, between a half teaspoon and a teaspoon. This doesn't have to be exact. Some garlic powder, same thing, half teaspoon, teaspoon. Some black pepper, same thing. And then generous kosher salt. I would say definitely a teaspoon to maybe a little bit more than a teaspoon. And in order to make a honey glaze, you need honey. So I would say 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. That wasn't exact. So I'm going to turn this up, get this all incorporated. Oops. I think carrots go really well with ham too. Probably with lamb. I'm not a lamb eater, so I don't know. We're going to let this go for a little, bring it up to a boil. Make sure the honey breaks down and everything else gets incorporated. So there we have it. This is all boiling nice together. We're going to take it and pour it over the carrots. We want to mix the carrots up so they all get some of the glaze on there. And this one is ready to go as well. I bet you know I'm going to say you could do this a couple days in advance, have it ready to go, and the day of, pop it in the oven. So we bake the crescent rolls at 375 degrees, but the pineapple stuffing and the carrots only need to be 350 degrees. So I lowered the oven temperature to 350, so it's the proper temp now. The stuffing needs to go in for an hour, and the carrots need to go in for 45 minutes. I'm going to put them both in together, uncovered. I'll check them every 15 or 20 minutes, see how they're doing, and take them out at the appropriate times. So the carrots were in the oven for around 45 minutes. They've been out and they're still piping hot. And the pineapple stuffing just came out of the oven and it is really piping hot. Everything smells wonderful. And don't forget the crescent rolls from before. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of things to make with ham or lamb for Easter. Remember, it's not the right way, not the way you should do it. This is how I cook. You can make this ahead, you can make this ahead, and you can also make this ahead. So do a little prep a few days before Easter, and on Easter Sunday, you'll be able to have as much fun as your family and friends. All right, take care and see you next time on How I Cook.